We talked recruiting in hour number one. We talked to offensive line recruit Bo Bordelon from Newman High School. He's heading into this weekend to Baton Rouge for the lineman camp, covering recruiting for Tiger Details. Is Julie Boudwin. She's on Twitter at Julie_Boudwin. You've probably seen the documentary on Maason Smith that was produced by Boudwin. It was excellent work in detailing the number one defensive tackle in the country's recruitment last season out of Thibodaux and turning into an LSU Tiger. And the buzz surrounding Smith here after this spring is just off of the charts and what his expectation can be in a freshman season. So we'll talk to Boudwin about that and what this weekend is looking like in Baton Rouge. She joins us now here on the Jordy Culotta Show this morning. Good morning, Julie. How are you?
I'm good. Thanks for having me on the show.
Absolutely. Thanks for coming back on. What about, before we get to everything, I know you've got a couple of quotes from Brad Davis as he tweeted out a goodbye to Arkansas this morning. What did you think of the impact that Maason had in his spring? You covered him as close as anybody. Maason Smith, we're talking about the number one defensive tackle in the class of 21 and commits to LSU, and he's on campus for the spring. And everybody we talk to mentions number 0 and how he's going to make an instant impact. Did you anticipate him getting on campus and creating the buzz he did after covering him with the in depth like you did in high school?
Yeah, I'm not surprised. I mean, Maason has a really good work ethic. He was really focused. I mean, he had plans scheduled. Like his idea going in was, I'm going in to win the starting job. Like that was his mentality. So I'm not surprised. He's a kid that on his own, he dropped 30 something pounds, I think. I don't remember the exact number now, but he put on a little quarantine weight, like probably most of us did. And put himself on a keto diet with the help of his stepmom, and he did the work. He was training 3 days a week. So I'm not surprised by it. I just recently saw him, and he's really, you can tell he's transformed his body. He's still working on it, but he's definitely looking a lot leaner since he's obviously gotten in that weight program with Tommy Moffitt. So no, I'm not surprised. I mean, Mason's a special talent.
Julie Boudwin joining us here, and there's a great documentary on Maason Smith's recruiting during his senior season that Julie published and did the process on, and it is fantastic. You must watch it if you haven't seen it. What is the impact of LSU changing offensive line coaches at the beginning of June, Julie? I mean, ideally, this is outside of the calendar that you see these moves made. What do you expect the impact, and have you heard anything on the recruiting trail how it has impacted making this change?
Yeah, I think we were all a little bit surprised, a little caught forward, like many of the recruits that I've talked to. I've talked to a couple of them last night, and got some quotes from a few of them. And once LSU makes it official, I was going to publish that. But so far, it's all been positive. They're off to a great start this weekend with some of these 5 stars that they have on campus. I talked to Kelvin Banks, who this is a positive for LSU in terms of the relationship with Kelvin Banks. He loves Brad Davis. The family loves him. So he's on board. He's great. LSU commitment. Lucas Taylor, talked to him. I might have broken the news to him because he said Brad Davis, exclamation point, no way. He loves him as well. Will Campbell said, he can't wait to play for him. So I think it's a positive. I haven't heard anything negative from any recruits that I've talked to, and it's obviously pretty important with this camp this weekend that they got it squared away as quickly as possible.
What do you expect from this camp this weekend? I mean, this is the first on-campus camp that LSU has had in over a year, and we've seen the buzz in recruiting this week since the dead period was lifted at midnight on June 1st. What are you anticipating this weekend as far as attendance?
Oh my gosh. I don't know the exact numbers, but there's going to be so many people. I don't know. First of all, I don't know how they're going to do this. Just think about this for a second. There's 6 official visits with major targets. I'm talking 5 stars, 4 stars. I mentioned Kelvin Banks, Julian Armella, Cam Dewberry, Shamar Stewart. These are all elite talent. So it's major talent that's going to be on officials this weekend. Plus you have the O-line, D-line camp, plus the skills camp, the kicking camp. And then you're talking about unofficials, guys that just want to stop by, like, a Will Campbell or any of the other in-state commitments that may want to stop by. So I don't know how that is all going to happen, because I don't think this has ever happened before where there's so much activity for this coaching staff. So I don't envy them and their schedule this weekend, because it's going to be crazy. And I don't know if anyone is getting any sleep this weekend, but I do expect, I expect some offers to go out, whether it's Saturday, Sunday. There's some guys that are going to be in town that are really talented, and they may have already had LSU offers, if this whole 15 months wouldn't have been a dead period. I'm really excited. A kid out of Pineville, O-lineman, Caden Morrow. He's really underrated. If you look up his stuff, you'll see what I mean. He's a great, almost like a hidden gem in the state, So he's going to be there on Saturday. On Sunday at the skills camp, there's a lot of guys coming in from out of state, a lot of younger guys. So I think everybody should just be kind of waiting for some offers. Honestly, I think we'll see a lot of offers go out this weekend.
You mentioned Shamar Stewart, and he's a 5-star defensive end out of Florida. Have you seen recruiting pick up in that state with the addition of the coaches in the offseason, like Blake Baker and Andre Carter?
Yeah, I think so. LSU's always recruited Florida pretty well. Corey Raymond's always done a really good job with the DBs out in Florida. And obviously, Coach O has a really good relationship with Shamar. So Blake Baker came in, and obviously he offered some guys that I'm trying to think of names right off. Sorry, Demario Thomas, I think the name is. Sorry, I'm trying to blank on his last name. He's a linebacker out of Florida who wasn't talking to LSU, for example, before Blake Baker came on. And now he's really high on LSU just because of that relationship with Blake Baker. So, yeah, I think they're doing a really nice job, and I think they'll continue to do a nice job in Florida. It's one of those states that you have to hit and you have to do well on year in and year out. Obviously you want to put the border in the fence around Louisiana, but there's a couple of other states that you need to be able to go in and get guys whenever you want to get them, and Florida's one of those states.
This is the year, right, though, that you could almost just focus on Louisiana. This is one of those years, isn't it? Like you know this better than me, but just in looking at it, it seems like you could fill out a recruiting class, nearly all 25 of them from the state. Yeah,
I've said that before. If LSU truly wanted to, they probably can fill an entire roster by just staying in state. And Louisiana this year. There's some talented guys out there that don't have LSU offers. It's Jordan Allen, for example, a cornerback out of the Lafayette area. I'm thinking Cam East, an O-line out of St. Aug in New Orleans. There's guys all over the state. Landon Ibieta, which, he's another one of those under-the-radar guys that I would not be surprised if on Sunday he walks away with an offer. Really, really special wide receiver talent. On the North Shore. So, yeah, they really could. They're not going to you can't do that, really. But technically, if they wanted to, they could. The state is absolutely stacked in 2022.
Can we look ahead to next season real quick, just to this quarterback cycle? When you think about the state, you don't think about quarterbacks, but when you say out loud that you've got Walker Howard coming through, and then past that you've got Eli Holstein, Arch Manning, and I don't think anybody's talking about Ricky Collins enough here in Baton Rouge. Can you tell me just about what the quarterback recruiting looks like in Louisiana from your point of view over the next 2 cycles?
Yeah, you said it. We haven't seen this. No one thinks quarterback because of Louisiana. So yeah, next 2023, like you said, Arch, Eli, who just picked up an Ohio State offer. So that was pretty big. We don't see a lot of Ohio State offers getting dished to Louisiana prospects. So that was a big offer for him. And then Ricky Collins, he's a three-sport athlete, super talented. I don't know which way I was going to go with it. Obviously, Arch and Eli are probably the top 2, and obviously Manning, because of who he is and his pedigree and all of that, would probably be a peg above. But I wouldn't say they have to settle for, Eli Holstein, because he's a superb talent as well. Super athletic. So he's like 6'5", 6'6", 218 and can move. So those two, and then like you said, Ricky. Ricky's got some offers already, and I think once he gets to some camps, he has some more film this fall. I think we'll see him kind of start to really rise up the rankings later this year and into next year.
Last one for you on the way out of here. Thank you for your time this morning. You can read Julie's work over at Tiger Details. Make sure and follow her on Twitter at Julie_Boudwin, TigerDetails.com. This state is loaded this recruiting cycle. Who's your number one player?
Oh, it has to probably be Jacoby Matthews.
Wow.
You can make an argument for him, Will Campbell or Walker Howard, but Jacoby is just. I've seen him in person.
Is Shaz close?
Shaz. He's probably in the top 5, but
Okay.
those three you can make an argument for number one. Like 1A, 1B, 1C kind of thing. Jacoby's just a really special talent. You can put him anywhere on the field. He's physical. There's so many things about him that makes his feelings really high. So, but honestly, any of those three, you can make an argument for number one. But my pick would be Jacoby.
Everything safe with Will with the change at the lineman, from your opinion?
Absolutely. I don't see. I got to spend some time with Will. I shot his commitment video whenever he did commit. I drove up to Monroe. That was a long day. Drove up there, shot it, and then drove back home all in one day. So I got to spend some time with him and his family, and they are LSU through and through. Will's not going anywhere.
That's good news. Julie Boudwin, if you want the latest on recruiting, she is a must-follow. If you are not following her on Twitter and reading her work at Tiger Details, she is doing excellent work over there in what is going to be a possible big weekend, enormous weekend for LSU in recruiting. So make sure and keep up with her there. Thank you, as always, for the time. Have a good weekend.
Okay. Thanks so much, Jordy.
Yes, ma'am. See you. There is Julie Boudwin checking in from South Louisiana this morning, giving you the latest and updates on recruiting.